Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am doing a my skin but better kind of makeup routine. So I am keeping everything really light and fresh. This is definitely more than a no makeup, but this is something that I love to use on a daily basis when I want my skin to, again, just look like my skin but better. It is really skin enhancing makeup in general. This is a makeup look you could wear for any occasion because it is any occasion appropriate. So for this sort of look, I want everything to still look really fresh and natural and really youthful. So everything, including the eyes and the lips, is kept more on the fresh side. It's definitely more than a no makeup look, but it's just really skin enhancing makeup, and it is just you but enhanced sort of makeup, which is what I love on an everyday basis. So if you want to see how I got this look, just stay tuned. To start this your skin but better kind of routine, I want the eyes to look pretty fresh and natural. So I am going to go in with a little bit of eyeshadow. This is definitely more than a no makeup look, but just kind of you but better. So I want the eyes to be really glossy looking and fresh. So I'm going to start out using the Roen Gold Dust palette, and I'm going to take this shade right here, that second shade, and I'm going to take a Wayne Goss 18 brush, which is really great for cream products. It's a really nice dense brush, and I'm going to apply this all over the lid. So I'm essentially going to just use this as a one and done shadow to start. This formula is just so lovely to work with. Again, it gives you a beautiful glow and a sheen, but it's nothing over the top or too crazy or anything like that. And it's a really buildable product, and it's just so pretty on the eyes. So again, I'm building that up all over the eye, and then with any excess product on the brush, I will begin blending that through the crease, just so I get a bit of that color into my crease to add some definition there and depth there. I just love this shadow, incredibly easy to work with, just the most gorgeous sheen. So you could just leave the eyes like that, but just to add a little bit of brightness, I'm going to go over into this first shade in the palette. And again, I'm just taking it on the side of this Wayne Goss brush. I'm going to place that right in the middle of the eye. So just kind of right on top of that other shadow, just right in the middle. Again, you don't need to be too precise because these blend into each other really seamlessly. It almost requires no effort to blend this in, but this will just add a bit of brightness here. And then for the lower lash line, I'm again going to go into this deeper shade, that second shade, and I'm taking this on a Sonia G Pencil Pro brush, and I'm going to blend that across the lower lash line. Doesn't need to be too precise here, just blending it back and forth from the outer corner and working inwards. Now, if you're someone that likes to add a little bit of definition on the top lash line, you could go in with a little bit of eyeliner, but I think for me, I want to keep the eyes looking really nice and wide and awake and fresh and just youthful. For mascara, I just went in with the Chantecaille Faux Longest Lash Mascara. I haven't used this one in a while, and I like it for like more natural looks. It still gives me enough length and drama and like volumizing that I still think looks really nice on an everyday basis. So I'm just going to mim onto the skin. Today I'm going to use the Chanel Water Fresh Tint, which I feel like I haven't used in a really long time. So I have almost gone through this full bottle. This is my second of the Chanel Water Fresh Tint. This is the shade Medium, and I do have a backup already, so I'm ready to go when this runs out. So I'm just going to go in with, start with a pump of this foundation, and I'm going to work it in with my fingers to start. This always just feels lovely going onto the skin. And then I am just going to take that excess product. I probably should have done this in a different way and pumped the foundation onto this brush. But I haven't actually tried out this brush yet because, I don't know, it just seems so big on my face. I will say it's a little hard, and I'm someone that likes to do my eyes first, so it's a little hard to get like around your eyebrows. But it is nice. It feels really, really lovely on the skin. If you're someone like me that has sensitive skin, this would be an amazing brush because it just feels really soft. It's a really smoothing brush. I feel like this would be another great brush. If you've heard me say sometimes after I've applied foundation, I like to go over top of the foundation with a brush to kind of just buff everything in and make sure it looks really smooth and like it's not sitting anywhere. I feel like this is a brush that I might like better for that versus applying my foundation this way, just because I prefer a beauty blender as someone with drier skin. Just because I can't help myself, I am going to go in with a beauty blender. And so one pump of that foundation gives me a very, very natural look. I can still see freckles on my skin. If I do have any like pigmentation, I'll go a little bit closer. You can kind of still see it on my skin. I don't have a lot of like pigmentation on my skin currently, but I do have freckles. And I like how fresh and natural that looks on the skin. This is a Your Skin But Better foundation. This is a no makeup foundation because you can't actually detect any product sitting on top of your skin. This just looks like your skin is healthy and plump and all that good stuff. So I am going to go in with a little bit of concealer. I'm going to take the Sisley Eye Concealer with botanical extracts. And then once I go in with concealer, then I can determine if I require a little bit more of that foundation. Sometimes I find it hard because right now I do feel like I need more coverage, but I also don't have any concealer under my eye. So sometimes that's just what I like to do, and that's why I like to apply concealer first, because then I probably won't go in with as much foundation. So I'm just going to apply that on the under eye area. And again, because I want everything to look really light and fresh, and I want this to be my skin but better, I'm just going in with a little bit of product. And this is a fuller coverage concealer, but I'm just using a little bit of it. And I'm just going to cover up those circles by just using a little bit of product. I'm going to go in with a bit of a brightener on my under eyes too, just because I think that gives a really fresh, wide awake look. And again, I'm only using small amounts of these products. So sometimes for a your skin but better look, you actually will go in with more products, but you're just using a really small amount of those products to get more of that natural look. So I'm taking the Peau Radiant Corrector for Eyes in the shade Almond. I'm just going to bring that right where I am the darkest, kind of in the deepest part of my under eyes. And I'm applying that just where I want to add that brightness and to kind of bring that area forward on my face. And then I am going to clean up that outside corner and add a little bit of brightness there, just because I do have a little bit of darkness in that outer corner and I do like to brighten that up. And then again, I'm just going in with my beauty blender to blend that into the skin. Now that I have applied concealer to my under eyes, I do actually think the one pump of the Water Fresh tint would be enough for me for an everyday basis. Again, I still can see some pigmentation coming through, but I don't mind that. I still think it looks like I don't have foundation sitting on top of my skin. But if I want a kind of your skin but better look, and I just want to add a little bit of coverage, but I don't want to apply concealer, because a concealer is definitely fuller coverage than just going in with like a foundation. If I still want to retain that your skin but better look, I'm going to take something like a foundation. So I'm going to go in with the Chanel Sublimage L'Essence de Teint. Again, I really like the combination of these together because this has a beautiful, this just sits on your skin in such an elegant way. And this is a your skin but better foundation. This is your skin but enhanced, and it gives a very slight radiance, but it does a beautiful job of blurring the skin out and just making your skin look phenomenal. So I'm not going to apply this all over my face. I'm going to start by, I'm just going to apply the full pump there on the palm of my hand. And I'm going to start with just taking a bit of product on my beauty blender. And for this type of look, I just like to go in any areas where I have a bit of pigment, just a little bit. And I'm going to just apply it in those areas, but I'm not going to apply this foundation all over my skin. So this is kind of acting as a concealer would, but again, it's way more lightweight than a concealer is. So this step just perfects the skin a little bit more, but again, I'm not going to look like I'm wearing that much makeup or anything. And then I will just get that excess product off of my hand. And then I'm just going to dab the excess on the back of a paper towel. And then just to make sure everything's blended in, I'm just going to run over every area, but I'm not going to be applying that full amount of foundation onto my face. So again, this is just going to really enhance the skin, and it still looks beautiful, but my skin looks blurred and texture looks reduced, and it gives this really beautiful soft focus effect. But again, it doesn't look like I have makeup sitting on top of my skin, so I just love that. And of course, for a bronzer, I want to go with something that looks really natural and just kind of melts into the skin. So I'm going to use the Chanel Le Beige. This is the Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream. I have the lighter shade that is the shade 390. So for this, again, I just like to go in with a beauty blender and take a bit of that product. And again, this is a really nice cream because it's a cream but has a powder finish. So it blends into the skin seamlessly, and because this is a lighter shade, it melts into my skin perfectly, and it gives me such a natural bronze tone. It is not too warm toned or anything like that, and it just sits on the skin really elegantly and beautifully, and it's really easy to blend for a cream bronzer. Sometimes I find creams, they can be harder to work with because you have to be super careful when you apply them. You can't kind of be willy-nilly with your application. You have to be a bit more precise. But with this one, I don't find that the case because it just, again, it's a really seamless bronzer. And the color isn't too intense, so it gives me a very your cheeks but better sort of bronze look. It just looks like my skin is bronze and never looks like there is powder, or it never looks like there's product sitting on top of my skin. So this is a great bronzer if you're looking for something that's really natural looking and just, again, really fresh and healthy. And then to kind of finalize the look, again, I am just going to wipe off that excess product. I should have just cleaned the brush and not used this originally, but I am going to use this as kind of a polishing product. And I'm just going to run over the skin at this stage just to make sure everything looks seamless and there is no product sitting on top of my skin and everything looks really fresh and perfectly blended. Because again, I want this to be really skin enhancing and not look heavy in any way. So I'm just running over top to really polish the skin. I do want to add a little bit of color to the lower lash line to just kind of complete the look. So I'm going to take the Chanel Les Beiges bronzer again, and I'm just going to dip into a pencil brush and run that along the lower lash line. Just again, it kind of completes the look to match the bronzer up with some part of the eye. So I did go ahead and just tight lined with my Sisley eyeliner. It's just a black liner, so I added that in the upper waterline just because I like a little bit of definition there. And then I just went in and added a little bit of mascara to my lower lash line as well. So from here, I want to add a highlighter, and I don't want to use a liquid highlighter just because sometimes, I don't know, I don't really like how they look all the time. And I just want a product that looks like a liquid highlighter, but is, again, easier to apply and just really melts into the skin and looks very skin-like. And for me, that highlighter is the Chanel Pearl de Lumiere. This is a very subtle, very skin-enhancing highlighter. So I'm just taking that on a Sonia G. This is a mini cheek, and just blending it into the skin. And again, you can't even detect that you've applied highlighter. It is so subtle and just really enhances that cheekbone. It makes your cheek look like it's glowing subtly, but never looks like you have a powder highlighter onto your cheeks, essentially. It really melts into the skin and is just beautiful. And again, it gives a really lovely glow without being over the top. And again, because I'm going for my skin but better, I want my cheeks to look really youthful and kind of like they're flushing, but I also want a product that's going to melt into the skin and become very seamless so that you can't, again, detect a powder blush on my face. And I just prefer working with a powder blush. So one blush I would highly recommend for this sort of look is this Clé de Peau number 105 blush, just because, again, the formula is so beautiful. It is incredibly finely milled that you don't require a lot of product, so you can go in with a small amount. It has great pigmentation to it, but the best thing about it is how seamless on the skin it looks. So that is one blush that I'd recommend, but I feel like I've been using it so much lately. So another formula that's very similar is the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate blush. Now this is it's more of a vibrant color than the Clé de Peau one, where the Clé de Peau is more neutral. But again, because my eyes are so neutral, I really want my cheeks to have that beautiful flush of color, almost as if I've been out in the sun for too long. And this shade is definitely the most neutral of all the tones that Tom Ford released in this formula. So if you're looking for something more neutral that's not super obnoxious and bright and punchy, I would go for the shade 05 Sun Drunk like I have, because you have this really nice neutral peachy shade. And then if you want to add just a nice little punch of color, a flush of color, again, because that can be very youthful, you can just go in with a little bit of that. So I'm going to do that today. So I'm going to go in, and again, these are very pigmented. So I'm going to go in with this peachy shade first, and I'm going to tap off that excess. And then I just kind of pounce it into the skin because, again, I want this to melt into the skin. So when I apply blush in this way, by just pressing it into the skin, I'm going to get that product really melted into my skin instead of it sitting on top of my skin. So that is why I like to apply blush this way. And then it's not going to disrupt any texture underneath. It's not going to disrupt the foundation I applied or anything like that. So that's just how I like to apply product. Again, so that is a really nice, beautiful, neutral flush of color, but I want to add just a little bit of brightness. I'm going to dip into this brighter shade, just dip into it once, and again, I tap off that excess product on the back of my hand, and then just add a bit of that color right to the front of my cheeks. And again, I like that I can apply this blush all the way to the front of my cheeks without it emphasizing texture on the skin, because if you have a blush with a little bit too much shimmer or sheen, it's going to emphasize texture in the front of your face. But this does not do that because there is no shimmer to this. Now for your skin but better makeup look, I think powder is extremely important. You want to go with one that is extremely finely milled, that is not going to add texture on the face. So I have two recommendations. The Clé de Peau Refining Pressed Powder, you have heard me go on and on about this. This is a translucent setting powder. Obviously it's in a pressed version. And although it looks like it wouldn't work on my skin tone, it doesn't add a white cast to my skin at all. It is translucent, as it says. but this is amazing because it just will set down your makeup. It's not going to add any coverage. It's not going to add color or texture. It just sets your makeup, and it does the most beautiful job of just blurring the skin and making everything look very refined. So again, it is called the Refining Pressed Powder, and it does make everything look refined. If you have any pores, if you have any texture, it just blurs. It's like adding a photo filter onto your skin by using this product. So recommend that one for sure. And then another product I would recommend is the Chantecaille. This is the perfect, what is this called? The Perfect Blur Finishing Powder. Now this one is different from the Clé de Peau. This one will add a little bit of coverage, and it will add a little bit of color to your foundation over top. So I like to use this if maybe I just want a little bit extra coverage, I want a little bit extra perfecting on the skin. If I need maybe a little bit more mattifying, this has a bit more of a matte effect. And I don't want to say it's detectable on the skin, but it's more detectable than this powder, I would say. So again, for this type of look, if you just maybe want a hint extra coverage because this is so light coverage, but it is, again, your skin but better, you can add a bit of this just to add a little bit more of that perfecting effect. For me today, I'm going to go in with the Clé de Peau. So I'm just going to take that on a powder brush. This is the Sonia G. This is the Face Pro. I'm just going to really refine the look and just smooth out the skin even more by just applying it mostly to the center of the face. And that's it. But again, you can't detect any powder product sitting on top of your face. It looks extremely natural. So I did receive some new products from Merit. This is Merit's new signature lightweight lipstick. So they did send this to me for free, so thank you so much, Merit. And obviously they sent it to me for testing purposes. So it comes in this interesting little component. It's kind of a see-through top, and then it's nice and gold, like the base of it. So that's nice and like hefty feeling. And I picked the shade Baby and also the shade Slip. So Baby is a really nice neutral pink, which if you know me, that reminds me of like Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick. This is like my perfect Your Lips But Better sort of shade. And I am, usually for like an everyday basis, I do like to go in with something like the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash, but that is a little bit glossier than the look that I want for the lips today. So I'm just going to take this and apply it all over the lips. This is really comfortable. This is lovely formula, and it does feel extremely lightweight. This feels, it's so interesting because I would say the coverage is similar to like the Chanel Rouge Coco Flash or the Chantecaille Lip Veil. It gives me that same coverage level, so it's not a full coverage lipstick, but it's not as glossy. So that's really nice, and I think this color is just beautiful. Again, this is my lips but better, and that is exactly what I want because again, my skin is a your skin but better, so I want my lips to be that way too. Okay, I really love this formula, and it doesn't have like a smell to it or anything. I'm trying to detect. It doesn't smell like it has a fragrance or anything like that. But that's really nice. It feels incredibly lightweight on the skin. This is like my perfect finish for a lipstick as well. Just that perfect, like it's slightly satiny, but it's not too glossy. Like I don't look like I have a glossy lip on, but it has enough of that satin that I don't require a lip gloss over top. It feels extremely comfortable. So I am super excited about this lipstick, and I'm really picky with lipsticks, so that is amazing. And I'm going to go in with just a little bit of lip liner. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat in Pillow Talk, and just add a little bit of definition in some areas. But again, I don't want to create like a perfect lip liner look because I don't want my lips to look perfect because this is supposed to be kind of like an undone you but better sort of look, so I don't want anything too precise. Okay, I think that lipstick is perfect. I'm just going to do a swatch of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lip liner. So if you can see, that is like the perfect match for this lipstick. The Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Lip Cheat is a little bit deeper in color, but they have the exact same undertone. So I absolutely adore the shade Baby. If I were to get one, I would get Baby for sure. I'll quickly do a swatch of the Slip shade. So this one, it actually looks even maybe a little bit more sheer, maybe not, but it's definitely more neutral tone. So if you want something that has more of that peachy and brownness to it, rather than like a rosebud sort of shade, then Slip would be a good option. But I am really happy with this formula. I think it looks beautiful on the lips. This lipstick is releasing on the 22nd. I'm not sure when I will be uploading this, but I will obviously link it down below. But I love that. I think that is the perfect component for this Your Skin But Better look. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video with my skin but better sort of makeup look. This is the routine I love to do on a daily basis. This is what I mostly wear to work or just if I am going out for the day, because I feel very confident in this makeup. I never feel overdone or over the top or uncomfortable wearing this because it's not too much makeup where, I don't know, sometimes if I wear too much makeup, I feel like uncomfortable in a situation. But this is a makeup I can rely on for any occasion, any sort of event that I would be going to. It is just any occasion makeup. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you like to use for your Skin But Better makeup look. I would love to know your routine. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video if you like it, and I'll see you in my next video.